Hello and welcome to the Excessive Robotics channel. This is an event recap. We're going to be recapping the Repeat Robotics presents Mayhem in Bossier City, Louisiana. This event happened about a week ago, I think like last weekend of March 2026. And I competed with two robots, my tryhard at-weight robot Rara, and also I put together this guy on the last second. It was just a ramp buddy. This guy lost all of their fights, so we're not gonna talk about him at all. We're gonna talk about Rara. So going into this event, what were the changes from the Oklahoma event, which was hosted a few weeks ago? So the biggest issue I had at the Oklahoma event was that my chassis was too weak. So this is the chassis of Rara V1, and the issue I was running is that when I first built it, it was actually a much beefier chassis, but I was very overweight, so I had to tone down the chassis a lot until I got to something that was within weight, and this is what I came up with. The issue with this was that it was now too thin. It was a 5% infill, and the biggest weak point was the center area. I kept having vertical spinners kind of cut into this, which would cut into the wires, especially my drive wire on the left side, and I would be out of a drive relatively early in the fights. So big weak point with this design. And at the event in Oklahoma, I realized that a lot of people using the Repeat ant hub were rocking this thing. It's just a titanium shaft that goes through the hub here to properly secure it, while I was rocking this bolt, and this bolt weighs about 14 grams, this weighs about 6 grams, so it was about an 8 gram savings, and those weights I could repurpose elsewhere, and I came up with a slightly beefier chassis, and this is V2 of Rara chassis. And what I did is the original design is still there, but I added this wall here to further protect the back end. It's pretty much a sacrificial wall, followed by an air gap of about like 4 millimeters of air gap, and of course some walls in there. And so that's a lot beefier, a lot stronger. Also added a little channel here to protect the front a little bit better. There's usually like a TPU connector here, so the front was now a little bit more protected, and now this is printed at 10% infill as opposed to 5%. So it's a little heavier, but I think it's much stiffer and better protected in the center area. So that was change number one of Rock. Change number two, which was not my idea, but the original creator of this design, Digitalis Cyberdress, came up with a bigger blade. So this is the new blade. It's thinner, it's 3 millimeters as opposed to the original blade, which is 4.7 millimeters, but it is a little bit bigger, actually like 5 millimeters or like 3 or 4 millimeters bigger. So it's got bigger breach. It is thinner, which I was a little bit skeptical. I was worried that 3 millimeters would be too thin, but I actually find that works, and it actually cuts through TPU better than the thicker blade. And so I upgraded to the newer blade. I of course had to rework the uprights to be a little bit bigger for the clearance, ground clearance, and so that was change number two. And what I like about this is it's actually about the same weight than the smaller blade, but I get the bigger reach, so barely any cons to trying the new blade. Another upgrade was a ground game. Normally I would run baleen on the spot. I switched it up with some titanium forks. I was a little skeptical. You'll see the first two fights I'm actually still running the baleen, or the first fight at least I'm running the baleen, but I ended up swapping over to the forks on the second fight. So those were the changes to Rara from the Oklahoma event. And so going into the Louisiana event, it was a chill event. All the tryhards that typically compete weren't there. It was only about 7 or 8 bots for the open ant, so it wasn't super stacked or super serious. And also it was hosted as a Swiss format being that everyone would play 4 matches, and then whoever had the best win-loss ratio would get first place. If there was a tie, 2 bots or so had the same win-loss, then I guess there'd be a tiebreaker match. So no playoffs or anything like that. It was more laid back, I guess, for time constraints or maybe lack of competitors. But that's how it was. It was hosted by Repeat Robotics at a Maker Faire at a college or community college or something. Super cool. Thanks to Peter for hosting that. And so the first fight was against Yob. Yob is kind of like a Palm Beach Viper, like beater design. I fought the driver of Yob. I've fought his bots in the past. I fought a big wheel, and I also fought his 3-pound design in a grudge match last year. So cool dude. I'm always talking to him. And so this is how the fight went against him.
Yob is ready. That is the start of the match. Rara being a little more careful. He knows that drum spinner gets a lot of bite and is potentially spinning faster. But now Rara having a bit of trouble getting oriented as he's now chasing Yob across the rocks. It's looking like Yob might have a drive side not working quite right. But he has more ground clearance when he's actually upside down. A little more weapon and weapon. What's really important here is how fast the weapons are spinning. If you spin faster, you will win the weapon and weapon. Oh. A little more work. Yob's weapon is now spinning in the right direction. Rara just waiting for the right opportunity, and that was halfway to the ceiling. It looks like Yob's weapon is down. Something is jamming it. Rara kind of just waiting here, waiting to deliver the coup de grace. He's not up against the wall. Those top plates are very thin. Most robots are not armored there because they are not designed to be hit there often. But Rara either showing mercy here or his weapon's down too. Who knows? Rara just scoring points. Pinning doesn't damage the opponent, but it does show the judges that you are in control of the match. But no, that weapon's back up. He's going in for the kill. Oh, that is a big piece of armor gone. That is the end of the match. Quick rules briefing. Batteries are...
So the fight went in my favor. I did some nasty gashes towards his design. I ended up winning because I ended up breaking off the backplate, and that exposed his battery or exposed wire terminals. Something happened where the official on the cage side just called it for safety. So I ended up winning as a KO. The driver graciously gave me his back plate. So first fight went well, very little damage, had to replace the battery. I think I had some armor gashes, but nothing that took me like 5 minutes to replace, so no issue there. Next fight was against Muck. Muck is a bot that I have competed, I've fought against multiple times, and he's beaten me every single time. He's able to change the configurations. The first time I fought him, he had like an undercutter configuration, and he beat me. I had a scalar kit at the time, and he beat me with that. And then the second time he beat me, I split him in half, and so I thought I had that win in the bag, but then I got high centered in the last like 10 seconds of the match or something, and I just couldn't move, and so I got counted out. But oh man, I was so upset about that one. I was actually pretty salty. So going into it, I did have a bone to pick with him. He wasn't at full power though. He didn't have a weapon motor or something, and so he, instead of dropping out, he reconfigured his design so it was more of a ramp buddy, push bot, or control bot, which is actually pretty clever of him. And because he was so underweight, he ended up also competing with his fairy, so it was a multi-bot. Let's see how that went. So this is how the fight went.
And we're off. Rara spinning up. Muck, a little more trouble, but they're up too. Rara's going to have to figure out how to split their attention between two robots, and they might not have to. Ceiling hit on the smaller robot. And the wheel comes off. That smaller robot is dead in the water, it looks like. The bigger half of Muck is going to have to solo Rara without a weapon.
I don't think think he can. Yeah, I don't think he can.
Rara just choosing their shots. They know they're way ahead of damage points. Uh-oh, but that fork gets jammed in the weapon. Really like to give the benefit of the doubt. Some of the most controversial moments in the sport.
Yeah.
When people
Ready, guys?
tried-
Yeah. 3, 2, 1, fight!
Rara looking at it, looking for a hit on those exposed wires on the back of the
Let's go. 1 minute remaining.
There is something missing from Rara.
5.
Rara's weapon. Oh, it's back. It's back. This is not really a fail safe.
Come on, can you move? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Knockout! Oh my goodness. I'm winning against Scoot.
So I was actually really surprised how the fight went, that I was not expecting to disable both of his bots. So really happy that it went in my favor. Again, no damage on my end. I just swapped the battery and I was pretty much good to go. The next fight was against Democracy Bot. I'll show you guys what that one looked like. This Democracy Bot, it's a it's this one's unfinished. It's pretty much that's sorry, looking at the Photoshop. This is pretty much a rank buddy. The gimmick on this guy though was that it was controlled by like 3 or 4 people. It was each person had their own remote, but the signal was wired through a laptop, and I guess the most common input would be sent to the bot. So it was a little weird setup that they had going on. Going into it, I would imagine the driving wouldn't be great, as it was pretty much being controlled by like 3 or 4 people. So I doubt the cohesion would be there. And so my bet here was try to get behind him as much as I could or go after the wheels. So this is how the fight went.
Yeah. Alright, so that's a 3, 2, 1. Fire was fight. Hit for 1, 2, 3, 4, backwards. Oh my God! Turn! Yes! 1, 2, 3, 4. 90 seconds remaining. Okay. 4, towards the ticket to get hit too. 1 minute remaining. That's a pin. 1, 2, 3. Release.
I think this counts as domestic terrorism.
Take a 1. Alright, pause.
It's going to have to be an unstick because I think the robots are stuck together. Our rules allow
horrendous.
unstick the robots if they get stuck
The
together.
greatest rap.
Oh wow, it's indeed. Huh?
I get happy with that. Alright. How much time we got left?
Everybody ready?
Yeah.
There's 38 seconds on the clock.
Oh god.
Start in 3, 2, 1. Fight.
Okay, close enough. Turn.
30 seconds. 30 seconds left. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let him go.
You're getting a pin there.
Time in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's the match.
I think I'm out of battery.
Rara, do you have weapons?
I do. I just saved on, quote unquote, saved on battery, but.
But you still want some. Who's next?
So yeah, and ended up going to the judge's decision, and I ended up winning. Pretty happy about that. Again, no damage to Rara, just a new battery, and I was good to go. The next fight though would be a little bit more serious. I would be going against Alpha Centauri, and Alpha Centauri is like a beater design. It uses like custom Palm Beach, or excuse me, it uses a custom Repeat Robotics like prototype. This thing isn't available as of yet, but my understanding is it will be here in the next few weeks. So I've never fought this bot before. I've seen it compete I saw it compete at the Oklahoma event, and it was just tossing bots around. So this guy was no slouch, and really worried that this guy would just be tossing me around. And not only that, but like at this point I was sitting at 3-0 in the bracket, and I believe I was the only bot sitting at 3-0. So if I win this, I secure first place. If I lose this, I would have to do a tiebreaker match with bot that went 1-3, and more than likely I think it would have been Alpha Centauri again. So so even if I lost this match, I still had a chance of first place. But my goal was to get this dub as fast as possible. So this is how the fight went with Alpha Centauri.
All right. Let's start in 3, 2, 1, fight.
Alpha Centauri knows he's being strong. He's going to have to get out of his fight.
90 seconds.
Alpha Centauri still works it. They're still very much in this fight. They just have to adapt to 4 seconds. Wow. Delivering some meaty hits. You can hear it. There's a lot of energy being tapped in there. Those forks. Reflecting Alpha Centauri.
1 minute remaining. Are they?
Well, I'm showing you the combination of offense and defense. There's not much more Centauri can do if they want to keep the match alive. Come down. Oh, what's this? Well, maybe the weapon's down. Who knows? What is that?
Match in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's the match. Yeah, I'll try.
So yeah, first place. Pretty happy. First time. My goal this year was to podium. Getting first place, it exceeded my expectation. Hopefully it's not the only first place of the year, but I was so happy how that fight went. I was pretty much in control the majority of the time. I don't think he was able to get maybe 1 or 2 hits on me, but for the most part I was just tossing him around like a soccer ball. And I'm just so happy with how this fight came out. I credit it to the bigger reach of the weapon. The fork design allowed me to be able to come on top when it came to the head-on weapon impacts. And overall, I was just really happy how this fight came out. And I was actually came out relatively unscathed. Like, I rebuilt rara in like an hour. Really, the only thing I did is I just replaced the uprights. Super happy how that went out. Ended up getting a cool little 3D printed first place and like a gift card to Repeat Robotics website, which was a mistake because I ended up spending way more than what the gift card would cover. But yeah, super happy to win something, especially in still my more or less my first year competing. There is an event which is going to be a lot more serious in Dallas this Saturday this coming up, so that one's going to be tougher. No changes going to be made with rara. I'm pretty happy how it came out. I just reworked the armor a little bit, make it a little easier on the eyes, I think, just so it matches my 3-pound robot. But yeah, I'm super excited that now I have a bot that is pretty dominant, pretty strong, and I'm hoping I can carry that momentum over to the next event here coming up. And so yeah, that was the event recap. Hopefully you guys had a good time. I do have some B-roll footage of a rumble match or something, and also I just walked around Faire. There's some cool things going on. So thanks for watching. Enjoy the bonus stuff.
That's a record. Immediately. I think what happened there is Pit Viper drop kicks. That resulted in the battery being ejected.
One battery down. All right. 3, 2, 1, resume. I have this week. I have a big total feed on the parts of the feed. I need yeah, we have a top lid. A top lid. We make some.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, that's... Tesla club.
So if you want to take off, wanna try this?
Yeah.
So go ahead and hold the wand to make sure you're not touching the black. Just
Okay.
That's the
Okay.
plastic. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn it on. And now it is building a positive charge on the dome, which causes the whole all the orange. That's a button press, right? Yes.
And this called the Tesla coil?
This is the Van de Graaff generator.
Oh, Van de Graaff.
The coil will have the little spark.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
They're both similar, but I think this one is. I forget what it is. One of them is AC current, and the other one is DC.
DC current?
But I forget which one it is. I think the Tesla coil is AC. This is DC.
This is DC,
So
okay.
they're both electricity. This is slightly different application.
I see. Very cool.
Yeah.
And does it spark? Oh yeah, there's it.
Actually, could you touch it directly to the dome for a second?
To the dome? Okay.
Yeah, so they're touching each other.
Oh, okay. So I grounded it?
Keep it there.
Okay, keep it? Okay.
Now you might get some better shots.
I see. Thank you.
This is really fun for show, but if you want good shots, I don't know what you want to do.
And if I were to touch this, it would really.
I have been shocked many times today.
Yeah. Can I give it a try out of curiosity? Oh, I even. That's really cool. Yeah, they're little pops. Very cool. Thank you so much.
Likewise.
Thank you as well.
So you can do it. You can do it from.
Oh, there's a soldering station.
Yeah. Peter's got a sign in, got a paper you need to sign if you want the free lunch for a bean.
Oh, I want a free lunch. Thank you. For sure. Oh, heck yeah. Wait, hold on. That's cool.
All right, this is Shadow Wizard Money Gang for their slow lap. Getting used to that very interesting track we had set up last night with help from the local fire department. Shadow Wizard Money Gang is one of 2 local teams here to Shreveport Mosier.
Shadow Wizard.
And this is their hot lap. Whoa, up on 2 wheels already. It's gonna be a spicy race weekend. Nice handling around that tight chicane. That is...
Oh, wait. Oh.